for the hospital.
And it'll be signed on December 15th, right? Okay.
The hearing will be on the 15th, and if there's no objections to the hearing, then the board will approve the amendment. Yeah.
What happened here is the state collects tax revenues at the till. The retailers in the county send it to the state, and then they return the 2% to the county. 1% goes to the hospital, 1% goes to the general fund. In our budget for this year, the amount to go to the hospital was underestimated. Consequently, we're amending so that they get all of those taxes. It was a banner year. A lot of people bought a lot of items in the county. Yeah. No, we don't need a motion on this. We just need to have her advertise it in St. Francis Herald and the Bird City Times for 10 days.
And it might be noted that the budget hearing will be on December the 15th at 9 o'clock here.
Right.
That's what's written on
Yeah,
the
that should be
notice.
in here, shouldn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it's in here too.
Yes. Okay. And I'll let you open that. That was brought into the office for the boards.
And you said you had a PDF file on this?
I'll get
Be
that.
careful opening something like that.
Send it to Karen.
Yeah, from the auditors.
Yeah.
Probably should read that out loud, right?
You want to read this out?
Mr. Chair, we have a resignation letter from Ron Loudon. It says, please accept this letter as a notification that I am resigning by my appointment to the CCAC effective 12/1/15. I've enjoyed and am proud of the improvements that have been made. I have been fortunate to work with members of some communities to make these projects work. Thank you, Ron Loudon.
Okay, do we have to advertise for an open position?
Well, probably so, but, yeah, yes.
We need to probably, we need somebody to go on, or is it the airport?
CCAC, Cheyenne County
Airport.
Airport
Airport
Commission, yeah.
Commission, yeah.
I'm surprised Dave's not in here. Was that letter addressed to Dave Yost also?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, to the county commission and Dave Yost. So they will probably recommend to the board, someone kind of like Fair Board does.
Yeah, so that's,
And then you guys can approve it.
right. So let's just wait to hear from Dave on that.
Okay.
Because he's just getting that letter too, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many authorities. For a second there, I was like, CCAC.
And there's not that many people that are going to be interested.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. It's Tom Geller calling. Should I answer?
What did he say to him?
Shirley called him and he was at home and
Right, clever.
he kind of forgot what he was supposed to be to talk about. So he wasn't planning on coming in.
Well, Eddie probably should know that. Your people aren't coming today, man.
I'll let you know in a minute.
Kelly, did you guys have something?
Yeah, we really wanted to know if you found out any answers, if you
Hey, I just
made
got
a
a call.
decision, what you're gonna do.
Are you gonna come?
You want us to come up there?
Yeah.
If you'd like, I
Okay.
believe that
That's all we
we
need to know.
didn't give the K-Camp or K-Works notification in at the time frame, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, it was
We
the
learned a
final
lesson
from the attorney.
as far as two different things with that, so.
All right, I'll come.
Did they ever say what the
Thank you.
penalty is for?
That is all.
No, not to my knowledge.
I didn't see it in their packet either.
It's not in their packet. Did you guys ever receive? So tell us what you
So,
decided to do.
okay, so first off, they went early because Tom Keller didn't show up, and that kind of sucks. So I made sure and asked them, before you walked in, what the procedure was if they wanted to open up bids for next year. And what they simply said was, whether it's by email or by writing, just as long as it's done prior to November 1st, that's all they need. And he said we'd be willing to take an email. And so I asked him, he said 71 counties are in the pool, and out of those 71, some counties don't ever open up for bid, but a lot of counties bid every year. So I don't think there's a letter you can put out there on file that says every year prior to November 1st we're going to take bids. I just think it's going to have to happen every year. Now, you were here in October, correct?
Yep.
So, I mean,
We just weren't aware of the penalty, because most insurance, property casualty, does not have that. You have that 60-day notice apparently because you're a part of a pooled group of insurance. It's a membership rule, not an insurance statute. So,
what's the insurance statute, 30 days? Or does it not have one? Doesn't have one, huh?
non-renewal policy.
Oh, non-renewable policy.
Well, you just non-renew it. If you don't pay your premium.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to give advance notice that you're not going to pay your premium.
I think the gentleman here was saying, maybe open book bids in September and have them by October 15th. So it's been a learning experience for
Well, one question about having bids by October is, when are they going to supply the updated table? Are we just going to bid on the year gone by, so to speak?
Based on this year, I mean, what's today's date? Almost December 1st. This is when they came out with their numbers. I haven't seen this information before. So we'd have to go on prior years.
And the numbers they got this time, where did they get, what did they change? Did they get, you brought me the inventory.
Right.
Right.
So
I
did
updated,
they call and ask to have an updated auto schedule and equipment
they
schedule?
sent, that form they sent, and as they explained earlier, with K-Camp, we don't do premiums in the middle of the year. If there's new equipment purchased,
Yep.
it just goes on in January. So that's what that schedule was all about that I brought down to you, the equipment that was taken off, the equipment that was added on.
Right.
So
And as far as payroll, that's going to be readjusted again at the end of the year?
the workman's comp that was submitted, yeah, there's a survey about number of employees and that kind of thing that is filled out at the same time I did those schedules and sent in, yeah, so.
Now, when you do a bid next year, are you going to bid before those numbers come out? If they're only going to come out in December, or are you going to bid on?
That's,
I mean, I think that's what we're going to have to do.
Right.
Yeah, we'd
You're
have
gonna
to
bid on more
notify
bids.
them early that we're gonna open up the bid.
Get some competitiveness in it, so.
And so the numbers for this year, I don't know if we announced them. On the K-Work side, the total premium is $34,217. And on the K-Camp side, they didn't give me a packet for that, so one of you guys are gonna have to read that one.
I think it's
It's
71,391.
3%.
Yeah.
So 71,000 approximately on the K-Camp, and then 34,000 approximately on the K-Works.
And that was with a 3% increase from 15 to 16.
but we also added an EMS building and we added road graders and sheriff's vehicles and
we're gonna have to add the museum in the church on this, right?
That's the workman's comp, oh, yeah.
Just gonna have to keep hours.
Because if the volunteers
Yeah, keep
are
hours
in
because
either
they're volunteers,
location,
yes.
we need to cover that.
Right.
Okay.
So we probably need to let Janet Corman know that.
I think January, I'll have her start tracking those January 1, so that, because they haven't, to my knowledge, they haven't tracked their volunteer hours, or if they have, I haven't been made aware of that.
Okay.
Nothing has been turned in, so.
So is there another schedule than this one? Because this one does not have the EMS building on it.
There should be on the buildings, it should be on there. I thought I saw it on there.
Well, they got ambulance services and volunteer firefighters.
On the highway, because that was very specific, working with Lila from the city, them terminating their insurance on the building and us picking it
Buildings
up.
operated by.
So it should be on the
Right.
buildings,
Right.
on the building
That would
schedule,
cover
there's
his
three,
question.
three tabs.
Copy of this. Mine's just all scratched on.
For next year.
Emergency building, right here.
Where's the cover? Limits of cover.
This is all I get. This is their property schedule. No. They probably updated the schedule when I sent this back. This is what I sent back to them, their building value.
They have contents, because that's what we used to have. We had
Yeah.
contents in city training.
Yeah. I know it's on there.
Okay. So we'll do this next year.
I'm sorry.
No. We all got caught on the 60-day deal. So, we'll do it next year.
And I took pictures of Dan and Riley's face, Karen's husband, that helped us. They just had grease all over them because they would wipe their hands like that on their face. Doug and I, we stayed pretty clean. We're emptying my dad's shop.
Are you?
Yeah.
I know what they do, basically, they move.
Are you here to support me?
Yeah.
You're awesome. Thank you. I figured with the snow, I'd have no one here.
Oh, no. I just got in last night. I didn't get in till 11, but I got your email.
So I
Then I,
appreciate you.
and I got the moved for it. I thought, oh, I was quite a bit. KDOT is absolutely in chaos.
It is. It's like a moving target. And it's like, hang on. And I mean, you know, from working with the safe routes, it's just changes.
I will after the meeting's over.
Okay.
Well, I've left messages for them and they
But I
haven't
think we're
returned my
finally.
calls. I tried to get hold of them last week before.
Thanks for the
so-
confirmation that they got us to walk to school.
It's just gonna have to wait.
Karen, what's news?
Not much, it's snowing. And I know we need the moisture.
I was in Kansas City for the week,
Oh, how-
and we was talking, and I have no idea, but it has rained. It began Thursday morning, and when we left there, it was still raining. It rained continuously. It wasn't a heavy rain, it was just steady. There's water everywhere.
They say snow has more of something like.
Yeah, nitrogen, yeah, somehow, that's whether that's proven or not.
I don't know.
I think water's water.
So how he is, I don't think he'll ever go back to work. He still is struggling with short-term memory. And because he's depressed, because, you know,
Now, tell me.
Yeah,
That
like he
was
loses
her father, the one
keys or his wallet or their note.
worked on the generator, yeah.
So he's got this anger issue.
He was good, but even up to the end, I don't really would have him work on a motor.
Oh, and Rod Young, my son-in-law, he threw out all his stuff to it.
He knows he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and have his
I knew
life.
what he was doing.
I would
And then
think
his
that'd be
kids
a
are in
choice
schools
location.
and pretty much abandoned.
It is, so.
But you know,
Oh, it
he
is.
treated our parents the same way.
But he,
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, that's
So, you know, it was just this balancing between compassion and empathy and then the triggers from, you know, all the childhood trauma and
right there,
the past. And
oh, and they were gonna
like,
make
he's got my brother, I love him, but
that solid rock Baptist church is where.
Solid Rock.
Family dynamics
I
are
think
always
Campbell's
good.
like, right?
we all have
I think that's where they're going. Is
issues.
that the one that Ron
There's not a family that's perfect, so.
Yeah, I think that.
Barb and I.
It's community church.
So anyway, but yeah.
Well, I don't, he was
It's too
going
bad.
over Burden, and now they're
They
going
had
here
a pamphlet
somewhere.
said the last time he saw him, he was actually kind of in a cycle where he was getting pretty.
I don't know.
I know, you can't keep up on it.
I set your direct deposit there, Rodney. I set your direct deposit slip there, yeah.
Oh, it's fine. It's highway, graveling and they're,
You know, Frank Henry does a nice job.
he does a great job. But when he got the job of being supervisor, I think, oh, because he was our deputy.
Yeah, but
And he was in Burden a lot. And he was a gun more deputy. Oh, but he does a great, we just, yeah, probably the best.
yeah.
It's not coming.
I'll give you a report here when they all get here. But the answer is no.
Okay.
Circumstances, I'll have to
I
explain.
understand.
It is. There we have transportation right there. So,
Okay, the task force on air and agent will not be appearing this morning. Tom said he got in last night, and because we're on that committee, he forgot what he was even gonna talk to you about. So you're gonna have to deal with an agent committee here, I guess. But I think, if I remember right, all the resolutions, the request was passed at the last commissioner meeting, so
No,
Well, they weren't?
no. All we did at the last meeting was approve the attorney to start the, what was that, the agreement letter with the attorney?
Right, and then Hutton.
And we wanted the county attorney.
And I've looked
to
at those.
review the-
I've
they
emailed me
okay?
all those, yeah.
Okay,
So those are not done yet.
but they will be since he's
okay,
looked
because
at
I thought
it.
you voted, your resolution you voted on. I was here.
Oh, you were, I wasn't here at
What
the
we
last
voted,
one.
what we voted on was to hire her to
Okay.
do that,
We can sign those resolutions right now.
Yeah,
If we have them, let's do them.
because we.
I might look at all this.
Oh, that's right, you
I
mentioned you
I
did look at it.
No,
just
I-
forwarded you the whole email.
You did.
Okay, so we're clear?
Yeah.
We're cool?
We're kosher.
All right.
And then I looked at a bunch
So
of
you
stuff
said we're all done.
sent
We-
too.
They've got the
You looked
resolution,
at
they're
ours,
gonna
mine
sign
too?
this morning.
Okay, thank you.
That's what it was.
I was hoping, because that was a lot of reading.
It turned. We wanted to review it. This one. Tom said he couldn't remember.
Yeah, this is stuff I've looked at.
If that's it, if you'll
So
sign
these are
those,
the
then I'll
resolutions
speak
for,
there.
Yeah, this is it.
okay. There's only one of them where all of the board members have to show.
Okay, so, polling, just polling.
Okay, on those.
I don't know.
Polling. On these, only direct signature. Yeah, I'll sign that,
Okay.
and Brett will sign that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna require your signature to several
Do we
pages.
need a motion?
No, it sounds like you
I
may
think
have
you,
addressed
I
it.
think you voted and everything.
time, I think, made the motion.
I know we made the motion, but we didn't approve the resolutions.
Let's just do it, yeah.
Yeah.
No, let's just make the motion, I think.
Okay.
Let's just.
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolutions for the, what is it, senior living?
Okay.
Or is that home for the
Home
age?
for
How
the-
is that worded? Oh, that's for the
It's the application.
application for the board. What is it called?
Senior Living Task Force.
Let me see here. I've got something else.
Senior Living Task Force Board.
Building commission.
Public Building
Is that
Commission,
the building
PBC,
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
PBC.
PBC, yeah. PBC.
Public
Building Commission.
Building Commission, okay. Make a motion that we approve the resolutions for the Public Building Commission.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
There's several different.
Yeah, and I signed on the last page, it required my signature.
Was it pretty much the chairman's signature, or was there places for the
Just
board?
chairman,
Just
and then
chairman?
one place for the county attorney.
Okay.
There's a spot in this program.
Okay.
Jerry Diddle thing, right?
Yeah, I've seen it in my email.
I was gonna say, if you're in that 5 minutes, Jerry Diddle worked
No.
last night.
And Carol emailed me a bunch of stuff also.
I had forwarded that whole email to Corinne so that he could review it.
And then I think I emailed you back on this one and on the, what did we just talk about? We decided,
We signed something else that,
Yeah.
that you had reviewed.
He said that they really.
so I missed one spot,
Mapes and
right?
Miller.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so those documents from Mapes and Miller I can send to you also.
I haven't even been checking my email, so if you send me stuff, I'm sorry. I'm in tears.
I could hear that clearly.
I know, there's no, you know what I like about mine is it turns into a private tag. Damn it. That's where it is.
Yeah, Brett, you'll have writer's group by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
For all the signatures.
Oh, I don't like hearing that.
No, the date's in there.
Okay, did he sign off?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Let me take a, I'll
yeah,
look through
take a
it.
look.
Okay, you guys can keep going.
Oh, not sure.
And I had Deb send you guys a lot of my stuff ahead of time, because it was a lot of reading, so I hope that you guys, I can walk you through it, so in case you have time. So first, Ryan had to go to the Rollins County Commissioners today, so he couldn't be here, but he asked me to create a report of all of the expenses that we incurred with my grant-seeking activities this year, and hopefully you've got that in the packet. Do you have that one? Can you put like 5 copies of that? The total of the grant-seeking expenses was $2,437.18. So since my position in 2015 was not budgeted, Ryan's budget paid for all of those unbudgeted expenses. So he was requesting that that amount be transferred from the general fund over to his budget so that he's not over budget.
Okay.
So that's for your
We'll need a
pleasure
motion
to.
on that.
Are you guys okay with doing
I
that?
can fill out one of the adjustment forms and we can approve it on the 15th.
Okay.
Is there any problem?
No?
That's just an internal
Yeah.
Okay.
procedure.
And I shouldn't have any more expenses through the end of the year. I think all of the surprise meetings from KDOT are over, I hope.
So let's
So-
wait for Deb to get back so she knows that, and
Okay.
that's in the minutes,
Okay.
please.
And just to assure you guys, that has all been projected and budgeted in 2016, so
Okay.
we should be good going forward.
You said it was 2,437.18.
That's correct. Yeah, I emailed a lot to Deb, so she was the same thing. Quite a few times. And I broke it out by the type of grant that the expense was incurred for. So the KDOT transportation grant was the most expensive grant for us to prepare to apply for. So.
And then Mr. Radcliffe said he's gonna prepare a document or something to 15.
Yeah. Do you guys want to give me authority for the month of December, just to go ahead and start doing those documents so that Deb has time to get that all put into the system? We can run them through the 2 meetings that are coming up. It would be in arrears, but,
How many different amendments you think you're gonna have to make?
well, if you look at the 2014 budget, you'll see how many departments we're in the negatives. I would like to stop that this year
Yeah.
by doing the funding that's necessary to bring them out of arrears.
I guess doing the paperwork won't hurt.
No, I think if you can do all the paperwork and then we can get them signed on the 15th. I mean, I know that gives a crunch to Deb because that's 2 weeks.
Okay.
Are you meeting
you
before the
okay with
15th?
that?
No, right.
No, no, I'll work on that
Okay, thank you, Rodney.
in the evenings and see what I can get done.
This is good to go. If you want to pass that.
After dark, right?
After hunting,
Yes.
each day.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. So I don't know if you guys need to make a motion to do that or.
Yeah, the motion, I think, at the next meeting,
At
once
the
you have,
next
the-
meeting,
yeah,
okay.
when I have that paperwork.
Okay, that's great.
All right.
And I don't know, did you guys get the handout that I sent Deb, that it's grant seeking activities budget for 2015 is what it says at the top. And there is a KDOT public transportation grant budget on the last page there. So the next part is that this has been a moving target for the public transportation grant. And KDOT gave everyone very short notice to attend a meeting in Topeka on November 13th. They've changed it. They've changed how the application will occur. This year is going to be an online system. They've also adjusted how the funding is broken out. So it's not making a big difference in the 2016 budget that I've already talked to you guys about. There is a little bit of an increase. They will still match 80% on any vehicle that's purchased, and the county would have a 20% match, and that was in my original budget projections. So the 8-person van with a lift system that we're discussing is $50,122.50, and the local match is $10,024.50.
How much is the local match?
$10,050.
24.50.
Yeah. And that's due in fiscal year 2016, if we are funded. It looks like this one, if you have that one.
Grant seeking.
Yeah, but it's not in this.
We're looking at, it's this one.
Right there.
Right there. Yep. And I'm just going down
So
from,
it increased from 5,450 to 10,000?
no, this is what I'm looking through. So this is the spreadsheet for the breakdown of the transportation van. And you've got the old one. That was a 50% match from, let's see.
It says Van Grant.
This one, yeah, we've been through several iterations since this one. So that was the county match, and then the city has that same match.
Right.
That's why, that's half of that amount,
Oh,
or close
okay.
to.
Okay,
So,
that
yeah,
that explains why it's 10.
Yeah, because the city has also pledged some money for this. So the vehicle itself isn't a change. The second part is originally they had funded 70% of all operating expenses. They have changed that now. It is 50% of operating and 80% of administrative costs. So we now have to, when we do the budget, break down what's operating and what's administrative. So operating is the fuel, the maintenance, driver's salary, advertising, phone, and training. Administrative costs would be a coordinator's time to do reporting and travel to attend the transportation meetings. So that adjustment does impact what we had previously had approval for on the 30th. So on the breakdown, the actual spreadsheet on the last page of that, so this one, so yeah, you're looking at that one, Rodney. And it would be on this one right here, Ed.
Last page.
Okay. So I've broken out based on operating expenses and administrative costs. So operating expenses include 2 drivers at $9 an hour for approximately 45 hours a week. That's total between the two. The hospital has agreed to provide dispatch as just part of business during the first year of operation, because we needed an office that was open from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. They will track their time, and then if it's overwhelming, we'll put in year 2 funding, a request for some funding for the dispatch portion. But we expect 90% of the transportation to be medical in nature, so it actually will help, hopefully, the hospital and the clinic to increase their business. We projected some insurance funding. We have to advertise once a month in the local media, fuel, maintenance, getting a phone on board for the driver, and then some of the dues, and then they are required to have a KDOT physical.
Okay, I assume the insurance would come out of camp next year.
K-Camp?
K-Camp, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? For the
Yeah.
vehicle? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So just, ballparking, and I based this a lot on Rollins County's operating budget, since they're already functional. So the first year of operation, so this is from the KDOT's fiscal year of July 1st, 2016 to June 2017. So again, we have to split part of this cost between 2016 and 2017 budget. Our local match would be 50% of that $32,040, so $16,020. The city has pledged part of that funding, and they had actually pledged, I think it was 10,000, where's the number?
5,687.
Well, their entire amount that they have pledged was 10,700 for the whole project, regardless of how we use it. I'm applying, I think it's confusing, 5,012.25 for half of the local match of the van up at the very top. So that the van expenses was $50,122.50. The local match was half of that. The city's paying for half of that, and the county's paying for the other half of that van. So they've already used $5,012.25 of their $10,700 match that they pledged. So when we get to the operating expenses, the local match will be $16,020. The city has $5,687.75 left of their pledge. That leaves the county portion as $10,332.25. And 50% of that would be payable in 2016 and 50 in 2017. And then administrative expenses, if we were to estimate an hour a day for reporting, and 52 weeks a year at $20 an hour, that's $5,200. Office supplies, travel to all the meetings, the drug test that's required, it's $7,365. 80% is covered by the grant and 20% locally. And since we've already exhausted the city's match, that $1,473 would be the county's responsibility, and 50% in 2016 and 50 in 2017. And there's nothing that says we can't go back to the city and ask for additional funding in 2017, but this application is due on December 16th. So we have to demonstrate to KDOT that we have the funding to meet their entire fiscal year. And originally when I came to the board, I was projecting only for 2016 for your budget purposes. So the difference really in 2016's budget is $786 more than what we discussed in September 30th. And then we're adding on to the letter of commitment some of the funding required in 2017. Clear as mud?
No.
I know.
So first year, right, based on this breakdown,
Yes.
what would the county need to pledge? Let's just add the numbers up.
The entire letter that we need to send to
Yeah.
KDOT, regardless of the city's match or anything, is that we need to state that our local match, county and city, is
Yeah.
$27,517.50.
Okay, and that's there at the top right
Yep.
there. Okay.
Fiscal year 2016 for the county, with the city's match included in
Right.
that, is $18,771. I'm sorry,
No, without the city's match, right?
without the
Right.
city's.
What?
No, that is, yeah, it could be a county city.
Or should
remembering,
it be 27 minus 10?
it should be the 27 minus 10.
Minus 10, so
Yeah,
it would be 18,000, well, no, 27.
18,000.
Yeah, instead of 8,000.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so that red number needs to be 18,071, correct?
County portion, up at the top.
Yes,
Yeah.
Because we got the total match of
18,000.
27.5.
Yeah.
yes.
And then you'd subtract the city's pledge on that, which is
Yes.
10.7, would bring it down to that 18,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So we need a revised letter of support if you're willing to do that. And we had it drafted up here, and it states that on behalf of the County Board of Commission, we are writing in support of establishing a local rural public transportation program with the assistance of the 495311 funding. The board voted unanimously to support this initiative at our September 30th, 2015 meeting. At our November 30th, 2015 meeting, if you decide to do this, we voted to approve $27,517.50 for KDOT's fiscal year 2017, including local funding of $18,771 from the county's 2017 fiscal year budget and $8,071 from the county's 2017 fiscal budget. The City of St. Francis has voted to provide $10,700 of the local matching funds for this program in its 2016 fiscal budget. So that $18,000 will include the $10,700. So you're just pledging that over the course of the 2 budget years, the $27,517.50.
Okay. And that'd be the 18 plus the 8.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So when I subtracted the 27,517.50 minus the 10.7, the city's pledge, I got 16,817.50. Now is that just going to confuse everybody instead of the 18,000 number?
and I'll do mine more. Good timing for me to get my phone.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Everybody gets their phone.
Let's see. looked at these numbers so many times, I have to remind myself what we did here. Let's see.
Came up with a difference of what, Fran?
Well, and maybe your numbers are right, Carol, and I'm reading this wrong.
No, I think,
But if the total local match is 27,550, right? That's total local.
okay, here's what I did.
Okay, here's what you.
Okay, the 18,771 that's listed right underneath the
Yeah,
local
yeah.
match, and the 874,650.
At the bottom.
Those are the two numbers that add up to the 27,517.50.
Okay.
So what this first breakout is, right under the county, city fiscal year 2016 is,
Right.
10,700 of that is city, and 8,071 is county.
Okay.
So those two numbers add up to that 18,000.
Right. Okay.
Then below that, the 8,746.50 is the amount we'd have to plan for in 2017. Right now, the county needs to plan on covering that. We will go back and talk with the city about making this equitable as a 50-50 split.
Okay.
But in the sake of getting this application in, and since we're still a year away from planning for 2017, I'm hoping that the commissioners would agree to that extra 8,746.
Gotcha.
Because then we're going to muck it up next year when we also have to plan for another year too, which will be part of additional funding in 2017. Clear as mud. You can see how challenged I am even remembering how this all goes together. So. And we did have about Rob Kleppers, he was part of the task force. We had about 13 people.
Yeah, and I can say, Birch City community, this is gonna be a good program.
Okay, good.
I visited with Rollins County pretty extensively, the people that actually, from the courthouse, they do their dispatching, and she said it's been so, for money invested, probably one of the better buys from a county standpoint. People that need it, use it.
Right.
And it's not something that's abused, because that's a great thing. I think with our task force we put together, our concern, one of the concerns was that we didn't want to have it end up being, I'm going to say this, you don't put it in the minutes, a Walmart run. It was to say, hey, we didn't want to put our merchants in any kind of a risk when people be using it to go shop out of town. So we're going to charge for them when they leave the county. They'll do that enough to where it'll prohibit that. They wouldn't save anything by the time you pay it. There'll be a little revenue, but not enough you can factor in here. The van we're going to get, I think, is going to be super. It's going to be the newer version. I think a lot of the mistakes that was made in the past in the state has been eliminated. Atwood has two vans, one that's a big one that they don't use, and one that is smaller than ours is not big enough, so we're going to be right in the middle. So I think that'll be perfect for us.
And Ed actually came to one where we demoed the Rollins County.
I like the big one.
Yeah.
I liked the big one too, but I don't know that we could keep it busy all the time right now.
Yeah.
But if we do, we can always go back and ask for an additional vehicle, because Atwood did that. They went for two.
And the other factor that I think is going to be something, the city of Birch City, of course, they didn't have the budget money, but we just finished a big water project, as you know, so all of it, and it ran over, believe it or not. So, and they're doing it, so, I mean, they're supportive of it, and I don't know whether this next year they'll be able to, long term, I'm sure the city will buy on board, and we can do it. Section 2, because of our limited, with the way it's written, that it's just not possible to do certain things. But they went ahead and said, we'll furnish a place to store it, free of charge. They're going to do that, and they're going to put it in the old Prairie Land building for the next year to see what the use is and whether indeed that's where it needs to be stored, Bert or Sandy or whatever. So our community's in support of it.
And that was really Bird City's pledge, was that we have to provide a secure location. The emergency building up here, once the gator gets here, will be maxed out on space. So Bird City, we were hoping they could be the ones to provide storage for it as their match.
So you guys have the totals now.
I do have one question on your spreadsheet here. under administrative expenses,
Yes,
you identified coordinator's salary of $5,200. My position would be that if it's a county employee, that 5,200 should go to the county general fund.
and I think that's fine. Yeah, I was envisioning that since I've been so close to this, it would probably
Yeah.
either be me or it would be the clerk's office that would coordinate this, so.
Then the only thing we need to do, if the grant is approved, at that time, we'd have to appoint a coordinator to take care of the expenses and submit them for payment.
Right.
Yeah, there's some very rigid reporting that they have. You have to use
coordinator.
their system. Yeah, you have to, there's a lot involved with coordinating it, so. And they have training for that. They would go through that.
Okay. Well, I think this should benefit our population.
It will.
I think we need to make a motion.
Yeah, need a motion that it's essentially what that letter says.
Yeah, the second, that you approve the $27,517.50 for the KDOT's fiscal year 2017.
Okay, for the local match.
Yeah,
I make a motion that we approve $27,517.50 for the required local match for the KDOT Public Transportation Grant Startup Funds.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay.
awesome. And so I need to have that signed by all of you. And then, these are the boilerplates, and you said you've looked through all of these. So, this one just needs to be signed by Brett, I believe. Oh, and then Brett on the first page, and then the last page is both Brett and Corinne.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that spreadsheet.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, this has been a moving target, so I hope the community gets this funding.
Would you have Shirley make copies?
Yeah.
Do that.
And then you need to sign all of these. I think that's it. And then just real quick, I was going to give you an update on some of the other grant activities. Last month, I worked with the City of Bird City and USD 103 to submit a Safe Routes to School grant, and it was $200,000 from KDOT to do sidewalks and infrastructure changes to make it safer for kids to go to school. And the Bird City Century 2 Foundation is pledging $50,000 as the matching requirement for that. So they will find out in January if they get that funding. And I have been working with the museum, the Cheyenne County History Museum, to apply directly to the Hansen Foundation for funding for an HVAC system, and that's for $35,000. So we'll be submitting that. There's no match required for that. And I have, where I worked with USD 297 to submit a grant to turn the old shop building into a wellness center in coordination with the rec center, or the rec commission. And they just got a direct grant from Hansen Foundation for $17,300 with no matching funds required.
That's cool.
So they will have a wellness center that will be available 24/7.
And they'll keep it away from the high school
Yep,
interference with their
it'll
job. Yeah.
it'll be secured off from the high school.
Cool.
So, the sheriff, we reapplied for a Hansen grant since they opened the $50,000 local match up again. And this time they were approved to get 2 AEDs. Those are automated external defibrillators. So if they respond first on scene, that they can immediately start to do CPR. And we reapplied for the City of St. Francis and CCDC to redo the roadside park signage up on the highway, and that was approved for $3,000 from the Hanson Foundation. And I also submitted a grant to Gerber on behalf of the hospital, Gerber, for $17,000, no matching funds required, for a infant warmer.
Oh, cool.
And I was thinking I'm missing one more. We'll be doing the firefighters assistance grant. It opens in December. It's always a mystery date, and then you have a very short time. Dan had planned on that in his budget, and that requires a 5% local match for PPE, protective gear, training, and it can be for both fire and EMS. So we'll be looking at some bunker gear and possibly some training for the firefighters. And that'll be coming up this month. And I think that's the big ones that we've been working on. So right now, as it stands, we've gotten over $500,000 in grants for the county this year through this program.
Really cool.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
It is.
And I'm trying to get as many that don't require a match as possible. That's my goal. So,
Could you, for the next meeting, have this updated to include the transportation grant?
sure.
To me, when we start our budget year next year, this will be extremely helpful in looking forward to what we will have to set aside for grants. And there is a way to put that into a line item under the others fund control point, so we can start budgeting ahead for rather than drawing it constantly out of our county general fund. So
The Shylin grant for the improvement, that's on school property?
It is city property, so it's
Okay.
the city that actually applied for the funding, but it's in coordination with the school. And Rod Klepper and Dana Wright did a tremendous amount of work for that.
Okay.
So,
And I will mention, KDOT is in chaos.
Yeah.
It's a 4.5-year project we've been working on this Safe Route School. We got the phase 1. The phase 2, they delayed. And finally, when they opened it up, we didn't even have it, but they give us the rules. And what she's dealing with KDOT is, it's just unbelievable. They've taken all their funding. So what's happening is they've already authorized projects that they've pushed back 2 and 3 years now. It's just a sad deal.
because of the governor taking the money
Taking the money from KDOT. So
to pay other
there are
bills.
roads in
Okay.
Kansas that was 3 years ago that they voted and was approved
oh, I know.
that haven't even, they don't have the funding yet for.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Now, my opinion, as the Secretary of Transportation told me that they have more money left.
I will revise that for you, Dalton.
Yeah, I think it would be
It helps
extremely
me
helpful.
keep it clear too.
Sure.
The other thing, I knew there was a big one that I forgot.
The other thing that as commissioners we might have to decide on is totally splitting her
She went to work
job
in the
out
city of
from
Lawrence,
mine
makes more money.
as far as the accounting system goes. I think that's the only approach we can take to accurately track your expenses and have some way to predict future expenses.
And the benefit of having a treasurer.
Yeah, because right now, we're co-mingling her job with his, and it's very confusing.
And I think Ryan would be totally on board with that. Because, yeah, it's been really hard for him to demonstrate what his emergency management funds really are. So he would be supportive.
And it's been a accounting challenge here to know what is yours and what is Ryan's, and
I think the accountant could advise us exactly how to do that.
So they,
And I don't see a real problem in splitting that
I
out.
think it needs to be done for next
All
year,
the meetings.
definitely.
Ed was saying, you guys need to be.
Hopefully you can't.
I mean, 50% of my job would still be working with Ryan.
Well, sure,
Yeah,
you're
I
still
mean,
gonna have part of
Yeah,
it.
so I can sit up there with the boys. So, I don't know, we're 50% girls up there now too, so.
But that would resolve problems like this
Yes,
right here.
yes.
Yeah.
Say,
Thank you, that is.
And then I'm accountable for that. I mean, I'm accountable for that anyway, so.
Yeah.
we will be accountable.
Yes.
Bob.
And I did, the other grant that I was gonna mention is we're gonna test the waters with a pretty large grant for Hanson Foundation, and I'm gonna work with the pool committee, and we are going to submit a $1.5 million grant to Hanson Direct to ask for 100% of the funding for the pool. The worst they can do is say no.
Absolutely.
That would mean they wouldn't have to have an election
Exactly.
and vote and everything else
Yes.
to get the bonds for, yeah.
And if I
that'd be
can get that
wonderful.
submitted by the end of this year,
Yeah.
Hanson makes the decision in the middle of January, which would be a good timing to avoid having a special election. So
Boy, that would be phenomenal.
the worst they can do is say no.
So what happened to the resolution that was already passed by the school board? Did you see that in the paper? that-
They're gonna keep going forward with that, because there's no guarantee we're gonna get the funding from Hanson. But if we get Hanson funding, then we can pull back on all of that.
There was a resolution in the paper here a few weeks ago that the school board had already passed to increase the recreation commission 5 mills next year
Right.
for the pool. Okay, you saw that, so you're aware of it.
See, and of course, the county's on the hook to do the election. We would pay for that. And if the grant comes into fruition, then we won't have that additional expense next year,
Yeah.
which would be great for us.
Yes, it would be.
So we'll cross our fingers, and so that's the update. That's it.
I got a comment on that. That was from the rec commission.
Yes.
Yeah.
That don't require a vote unless they went over the amount.
They're wanting to increase their mill levy from 1 to 6.
And then that requires a vote. That's too much, huh?
And that, yes, because
5 mills.
If they would have graduated it up, they wouldn't have to have an election, because I was on that.
well, there is a resolution that says they can't, right now it's 1 mill. And so if they're gonna increase it, then yes, it has to
So
be
if they
done.
started 5 years ago.
Look, you wouldn't have done it. I was on that in Cheyenne, and it's a license to steal.
It's a,
Oh, I mean, really, the rec commission, you have the right to do that.
it's for the USD 297.
Yeah.
It's not one, yeah.
And you're
They're in a
saying
hurry.
that-
Yeah,
Well, they're careful.
And I just want to go on record thanking you guys for supporting the grant program this year.
Okay.
I know it was unbudgeted and by a very different commission, and I hope that it's added value to this community. So,
It definitely has, and thank you.
thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day. See you careful out there.
Thank you, Carol.
Yes, I did notice.
Just
I'll
have
look
Shirley.
how Jeff did it up there. Did Dave want to take 30 minutes?
Dave will probably 15 minutes. like you said.
needed me for. I won't do that.
Man, I slid through this intersection down here.
You weren't going too fast.
You know me.
It's his first intersection he came through that was slick.
Oh, that,
He didn't know it till right then.
I know it wasn't the first.
I think the sun's supposed to come out. Yeah.
Your driveway.
I always hit that one a little fast.
John Grace did call and said if you wanted a conference call with him, there's a number to do conference call if you had any questions.
I don't think we did.
All right, Dave, good morning. How are you?
Good.
Not till 4.
It's almost sundown.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see my note on that when those household hazardous waste on that. Okay.
How'd that meeting go?
That's encouraged.
Did that change anything?
No, not really.
It's gonna go to them, it shouldn't come up.
We're starting with that, I think,
The state.
so. The state and the local group, so we'll know what we're doing, seems like more